guys, welcome to Friday Waffle. Some of you quite liked, in fact I should rephrase that, most of you, in fact all of you actually preferred the waffle last week where I was sitting, because rather than just looking at my ugly face, you were able to look at some games in the background. So this week what have we got? We have got Dragon's Lair 2 and we have got school days running on the Spectrum. So yeah, I hope you've all had an alright week. I was out with the dogs earlier and by Christ it's cold. It was cold this morning, it was about 4 degrees this morning. So I think it's fair to say summer is well and truly over and it's only going to get worse. It's going to get colder. I think it's to be raining tomorrow. Now I know I say this every single week, but by Christ I am glad it's the weekend. Work was alright up until today and I had a really shit day. So yeah, I'm pretty tired and I'm glad it's Friday. This week, what have I got on? Tomorrow, going into Edinburgh. Not doing a great deal. My wife's actually on a night out tomorrow night, so I don't know. Play some video games. Maybe Ava and I'll watch a film or something. I'm not quite sure actually, but aye. So this week, what have I been doing myself gaming wise? Oh, I didn't put the PS4 on. I've not had the PS4 on for a good number of weeks. I can't remember what I've been playing. Have I been playing anything? I've been messing about with the mini SNES, or the SNES Mini as it likes to call itself. Apart from that, not a great deal. But anyway, listen, I've got a few questions and I've also got a few bits and pieces to talk about. So while I digest what I've written, I'll just have a little drink of my tea. Lovely. Aye, you can probably tell the reason I don't sit at this angle normally is because when I do, I've got to sit in my really hard stool. But what I've done is I've brought the big trusty lazy boy chair across, so it means I can relax. I can actually see. I've just noticed I can actually see the reflection of school days in the back of the camera. Yeah. So right, kicking things off. What have I got here? Do you have to complete games to get any fun from them? I can't remember what prompted that question. I was going through some games. I think it was for a video or something, and it just, you know what, it just struck me how few games I have actually completed. And it's not even a question of I've not quite completed them, it's games I've hardly scratched the surface on. Now I am terrible for that. I always have been, even when I had my Commodore 64. But I'll tell you what it was, the game in question, it was Rescue in Fractalis, and one of the guys, Mike, one of my mates, Mike, who has got a great channel, he was playing Rescue in Fractalis and he got to the second level. And it just got me thinking. I thought, I don't think I ever actually got to the second level. I might have. If I did, I can't remember. And it just made me realise, I wouldn't say it's how shit at games I am. I don't think I'm a particularly bad gamer as far as being able to play games. I don't know. I just think I get bored very easily. Or, you know what, I don't get bored. I give up way too quickly. So that has always been me. I've always been like that, even in the 8-bit days. The 8-bit days, I was exactly the same with the Commodore 64. Just as God, I can't even talk tonight. I should just give up. Just as bad with the Amiga. I think possibly part of the reason is, or at least was down to piracy, because I ended up getting so many games. You know, I call it the PlayStation syndrome. Too many games and you play none of them. That's something that's always existed. Saying that, I mean, I bought loads and loads of games for the Amiga and for the C64, so I don't feel guilty. I did. When I eventually discovered that my local open air market sold games, I started buying them from there. But I've always been like that, and even, you know, I've got how many? I've got about probably 15 games for the PS4, and I've completed one. I have completed one of these games, and that's because I completed it on the PS3, and it was The Last of Us. I knew what a great game it was, so I stuck in and I completed it. Other games, I get to a certain point and I just give up. Aye. So, but I think that my point is, it's not so much moaning about me not completing games. It's, do you have to complete games to enjoy games? Well, quite categorically, you don't, because I wouldn't still be talking about video games some 35 years later if that was the case, because I've completed very few games in my life ever, and so if that meant that I didn't enjoy games, then I said I wouldn't be making videos, and certainly I wouldn't be talking about it. So I don't think you do. I do sometimes get envious of people that are able to complete games, or people when they say they've completed a game. You know what it was? I think it was it was Mark doing the Rescuing Fractalis, and it was also Ben. Oh bloody! I've just completely forgotten Ben's his channel. T-Rex Space Station. Yeah, sorry Ben, I've got a terrible memory. Ben did a look at sort of. He recommended, was it 5 running gun games on the Sega Mega Drive, and he was talking about how he'd completed, was it Rolling Thunder 2, and he'd completed, was it Gunstar Heroes, and I just thought, I've completed very few games. You know, I could literally almost write in one hand the number of games that I have completed in 35 years, which is pretty bad, I think. But it doesn't stop me enjoying games. So do you have to be able to complete them to enjoy them? I don't think you do. Right, okay, SNES Mini. You saw the video. Well, maybe you haven't. I made a video last week. I thought to myself, I'll get it out there quick, because you know you've got to try and strike while the iron's hot. You know, the SNES Mini is what everyone's talking about at the moment. So if I didn't get the video now, that would be a bit silly. I've got to say, I mean, if you've watched the video, you'll see how much I like it, and I've got to say, I think it's fantastic. I showed it to one of my mates, who wasn't really, he's not a fan of it per se. I mean, he's got a SNES, and he said he was quite impressed with it as well. Excellent. Now, I have got, in addition to it, I have got this. Oops, that even. There we go. I've not even opened it. It only arrived today. I've actually got 2 of them. I thought I can't have one wireless controller, not have 2. It is the Wireless Fighting Commander. Now, it's an official Nintendo stick. It's Hori make it. It's got, I don't know, believe me, it's got 6 buttons, and it's also got the buttons at the top. But you know what? Let's just open it up just now. No time like the present. Don't rip it, for Christ's sake. Urgh. Why is it when you try and open these things, you end up tucking the wee bit underneath, and then when you lift it, it tears like what I've just done right there. Anyway, you know what? I'm not going to be selling it, so I can't sell it now. What is this? Ah, that is a little adapter thing that goes into the front of it. Christ, I'm making an absolute arse of this. There we go. Ta-da! Ah, so it takes normal batteries, which is quite good. Yeah, you don't need to piss about. It takes 2 AA batteries. Nice! Very nice. So yeah, a wireless controller now. Apparently you can, what do you call it? There's a website, website sell adapters, so you can use that on the SNES as well. That would be quite nice. But yeah, excellent. I mean, it's proper Nintendo quality. It's got 6 buttons. It's got 6. What is that? Oh, it's got the slow motion thing, which apparently just pauses the game very quickly. So that's turbo. Yeah, that must be the turbo buttons. Sort of auto fire, I should say. So yeah, I got myself 2 of these for the SNES Mini. So I'll probably do a wee look at video. Well, there you go. I've now ripped the box to shreds. Now, interestingly, when I became aware of this, I think I mentioned in the Friday Waffle, I was saying I was going to buy it, and then I said, oh, I don't think it's out yet, and somebody said to me that it is out. I can't remember who it was, and I tried to get it, and you couldn't get it for love nor money. It was apparently only Argos were selling them. Couldn't get them at all. And then what night was it? Was it Tuesday, Wednesday this week? My mate Steve, he what do you call it? He he pinged me an email about, I don't know, it was a message on Facebook. It was about midnight, and he says, go onto eBay, and he gave me a link, and there was a guy selling 10 of them, so I jumped in and got 2 of them, and I think Steve, he bought one as well, and yeah, within the following morning they were gone. You can't buy them, and I noticed Argos did get them in for a very short period of time, and again you can't get them. So yeah, anyway, I'm kind of waffling a wee bit, but that's what you do in a waffle. So that's what I have got. So interesting to see how it works. Hopefully it'll be okay. Instruction manual, don't really need that. Right, SNES Mini wireless controller. Yeah, already let you see that. Next, the Spectrum Vega Plus. What is that? Debacal, yeah, I'm wondering what the hell I said there. What am I talking about? Well, unless you've been under a stone for the last, I don't know, 2 years, year and a half, a company brought out the Spectrum Vega, which was a little, it was a little portable, not portable, it was a little handheld controller thing that plugged into your TV, and it was 1,000 games, 997 of which you'd never heard of, another 3 were not very good. But anyway, it went down a storm. I mean, it still sells for like 100 quid, which I'm really surprised at. I would buy one maybe if I got the chance of it for like 20 quid. Wouldn't pay any more than that. But anyway, it proved to be rather popular. It was a Kickstarter. So they brought out the Spectrum Vega Plus. Well, they didn't bring it out, they brought out a Kickstarter for it. And it was the device, it was basically, it looks like a PSP. You know, it looks about the same size as a PSP. It's got the little Spectrum rainbow flash along the bottom right. I saw it and I thought, not interested. I've got multiple Android things I can. I mean, I've been playing Spectrum games on portables for probably 10 years. You know, ever since I got the my PSP, I've been playing. You know, so it's really no big deal to me. But obviously, it had the approval from Sir Clive Sinclair, which kind of gave it credibility. How wrong was that? So it was due to be released, I think it was 100 quid, I think it was £99. It was due to be released a year ago, and 12 months on, it's still not been released. And I watched a video, I can't remember the guy's name, I'll try and find it, and what I'll do is I'll put a link to it below. And this guy basically, he'd got, I don't know if he had got a hold of them or whatever, but basically the accounts, they raised over £500,000 for this Kickstarter, and they've been making promises and promises and promises about when it's going to come out. It's been delayed, it's coming out, and here we are a year later, it's still not out. And basically the bank accounts of the company that's making this were put up online, they were put up on the internet, and it transpires that a lot of the money has been getting spent on meals and consultants, and you know, quite frankly, the money's just been getting pissed against the wall. And you know, people, if you go to the Indiegogo site where you know the thing was launched, people are asking for their money back, and the guys that are doing this, running this Indiegogo, are just completely blanking them. It's terrible. It really, really is. I mean, it should be illegal that a company, a group of people, can get £500,000 and they've got nothing to show for it. People who've spent that money, all the backers, have got nothing to show for it, and quite frankly, it's highly, highly unlikely they're going to get anything. So it looks to me like these guys have lost all their money. But yeah, there's got to be something in the law to protect against that happening. Apparently, I mean, quite a few people were saying they've gone to like, different government agencies to try and get their money back. But it's sad. I mean, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, all these kind of crowdfunders, they're so big now. I mean, it's a legitimate way of raising money to get good things put out to market. But that is the bad side of it. When you see a group of people basically just ripping other people off, stealing money, that is wrong. That is completely wrong, and it just means that when there are legitimate Kickstarter projects coming out, people are going to think, well, I've been stung once, I'm not going to back it, and that is really sad. But have a look at the video, I'll put it down below. There's actually 2 videos I'm going to link to. It's quite interesting, but I'm just glad that I didn't give them any money. Not so much because I wouldn't want to lose the money. I know I would get really, really irate, knowing that I'd been ripped off like that, So yeah, go and check it out. On the talking about getting ripped off, I've still got a bee in my bonnet about the RetroPie, people selling Raspberry Pis with RetroPie. Honestly, there's quite a few of them, and they don't care. They absolutely don't care. I mean, I don't know if I mentioned this in last week's Waffle. One of my mates, he actually posted a question in their Facebook. He says, they've got a Facebook page, he says, can you tell me, are you allowed to use all these ROMs? Because they're basically giving away like 25,000 ROMs. And they replied, yeah, our lawyer tells us it's all cleared and above board. We know that's absolute bollocks. There's no way that, they've got authority to sell these ROMs. And then my mate also asked them, can you tell me, are you using RetroPie or are you using your own software? And they came back and says their own software. Now, RetroPie, part of the conditions of using it is you do not sell it for profit. So, anyway, I'm not going to get into it again. It just annoys me when you see the number of people that are posting on this Facebook page, the number of likes. You're talking thousands. These guys must be making serious, serious money. And the fact that they're making serious money on the back of people who produce these things out of the goodness of their heart and they're giving nothing back is absolutely wrong. So I would ask you, please do not buy any of these things because it's not fair. These guys are selling it for stupid amounts of money. They've got different tiers. They've got like the basic ones, 99 quid. Then you've got one at 120. I think it goes up to £150 for like the premium one. And all they're doing is they're taking an SD card, they're flashing an image onto it, they're sticking it in a Raspberry Pi, they're bundling a couple of wireless controllers and selling it for stupid money. Anyway, I get angry just talking about it, but please, please, please don't support these guys. Build yourself, go and look at my video, build yourself a Raspberry Pi 3, you'll do it for 30, 40 quid, save yourself money. If you really want to spend 100 quid, build one of these and then give 50 quid to charity. There you go, you'll feel really good about yourself. So anyway, I shall not harbour on anymore about that one. Oh, dearie me. Right, kicking the questions off, pardon me. Kicking the questions off, Carol Todd. I've been catching up on some of your older videos, particularly That Was the Year That Was series. I wondered if you have a favourite year and why is that your favourite? I'm guessing, Carol, when you say I have a favourite year, you're referring to games. I think for me, the glory years, my fondest kind of time for the computer, nostalgic memories, it would probably be, I'm going to go for 1985. It was a year where, I'm trying to think, I got my first girlfriend. I started work, I was working part-time and then I started working full-time. It was an exciting time. I had a Commodore 64 at that point. I'd had it for a couple of years, a year and a half. it was a great time to be alive. You know, computers were brand new, they were exciting. It was a fun time. You know, I still lived with my mum and dad. You know, you had no responsibilities. The only thing I had to worry about was getting money for the weekend or getting enough money for a computer game or a computer magazine. So I'm going to go for 1985. You know, not for any particular reason other than it was a fun time. I can't think of any. I mean, it wasn't, you know, for any one particular game, but 1985, great year. Number 2, you mentioned going to the computer club, and I wondered if you went to a computer club in the late 1980s, early 1990s, during the reign of the 16-bit computers in the UK. Around that time, it seemed that almost every town had a computer club. I have a lot of fond memories of that time, going to several clubs that were usually held in pubs. There was always a threat that clubs would get shut down, but if that happened, they just resurfaced at a different pub a few weeks later. Brilliant. Actually, I didn't go to a computer club during the 16-bit. Don't know why. I don't even know if there was, to be honest with you. But I went to a computer club in the early 80s, probably 84, 85. Again, yeah, that's part and parcel of why I liked that year. It was every Wednesday. It was in a school, and you basically had to take your own computer and TV along, so you had to carry it. I remember me and my mate carrying, he had his Spectrum and his TV, I had the TV and the Commodore 64. I could drive a car at that point, so that would be August 85, yeah, I could drive a car. My dad would occasionally give me a loan of the car, so I could drive up, which was always good, but yeah, it was basically it was a piracy club. We went along, we played some games, and we just copied games. So it was a piracy club. But that was all the 8-bit Spectrum, Commodore 64. There wasn't any BBCs as such. There's a few Ataris and that kind of stuff. It was generally Spectrum, Commodore 64. But I didn't go to a computer club in the 16-bit area, actually. Not at all. It was only, I don't know how many years later, 30 years later, that I started going to the Edinburgh Retro PC, which has been going now for about 4 or 5 years. So, yeah, great fun. What number was it? Number 3. I'm sure you have heard about the return of Thalamus and their Kickstarter for a remixed Hunter's Moon with other retro releases planned, for example Creatures 3 and rumours of enhanced versions of the Spectrum, for the Spectrum Next. Do you have any thoughts on this, and are you looking forward to new versions of any Thalamus games? Actually, it's my mate Andy Roberts. Andy's a good mate of mine. I mean, he lives in Canada, but you know, I've been friends with Andy for years and years. I believe Andy's behind it. Now, I would ordinarily always support a mate, but I've got to say, I don't have, like Hunter's Moon, I don't have any love for it. I've tried it, I've tried to play it, and I just can't get on with it at all. Creatures 3, I mean, I was on my my Amiga at that point when Creatures came out, so I don't have any fondness for that. I mean, Thalamus games, Thalamus, I mean, they did put out some amazing games. Technically, they were really, you know, they were right up there with the best. I mean, Delta is a groundbreaking game, and I know my mate Gary Liddon would probably hate me for saying this, but I wasn't a big fan of Delta. Technically it was impressive, but I just found it too difficult. It was kind of a memory game. What do you call it? Sanction, great music. Again, I wasn't overly impressed with the game. So I don't want to go dissing it because Thalamus did put out some great games. It just weren't for me. I think did they put out what's it called? Oh man, it's like the R-Type game. I can't remember the name of it. It begins with an A. No, I can't remember. But yeah, they did put out some amazing games, but sadly the games, they weren't really my cup of tea. I couldn't quite get on with them, so I probably won't be backing it. But I'm quite sure it'll do really well. I hope to God it does. For my mate Andy's sake, I hope it does do well. So anyway, listen, Carol, thanks for the question, buddy. I do appreciate it. I'll just check my timer. How are we doing for time? Got 20 minutes left. Right, next up we've got Bop MC. I've built up a pretty vast games collection. Like you, I'm not overly concerned with whether games come boxed complete, as I just want to play the games. Over the years I've sold games and regretted selling them, and have more often than not bought them back again. There have, however, been occasions where sometimes the game has massively increased in value and I've not been able to buy it. For example, Metal Gear Solid on the GameCube. I'm talking to you. Have you ever sold a game only to regret it? If so, has any game you've sold increased in value so much that you could not afford to repurchase it? Or were you not daft enough, unlike me, to sell your games and rebuy them in the first place? I had a very, very similar question last week, and the game I'm going to pick, well, I've even got it now obviously, was for the Vectrex, and it was a Protector. It was a Defender game released, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago by a guy called Sean, I can't even remember his second name. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's an amazing game. It was a limited run. I think there was maybe only 100 copies released, and it came in a beautiful box. It had a screen overlay, really uber professional. I got it. I think I bought it for, it was about 30 quid, something like that. And I mean, there's only 100 released. Each one had its number on it. And it's kind of, I think it's regarded by many as the best game ever released for the Vectrex. Maybe there's games since then. I mean, the Vector Pilot is an amazing game, but there's maybe been games released since that have overtaken it. But it's certainly one of the most impressive games. For a game like Defender, I mean, it's a clone of Defender. It plays amazingly well. As I mentioned last week in the Waffle, I needed money. I can't remember what I was doing. I needed some money. And I thought, what can I sell? And I thought to myself, I hardly play it because it's too difficult. And I sold it for, I think it was about 150 quid. And if you go on eBay now, you'll be lucky to even see a copy. When it does come up for sale, it goes for daft money. So I do regret getting rid of it. I sold it because I needed the money. So, you know, from that side of things, I shouldn't beat myself up too much. But I can't think of any other game-wise. Nah, not really, because I generally, if I buy a game, I tend to hang on to it because it's, you know, games generally don't go for very much money. So, I can't think of any one, so I'm going to go for Protector. But anyway, Bop, thank you very, very much for the question. Next up, Mark the Morose. Number one, you've speculated a couple of times in your waffles on your oldest viewers. I think I recall one viewer being around 68. In contrast, do you have any guesses on how old your youngest viewers are? I wonder what they make of all this retro goodness. Yeah, I think it's that lofty accolade for the oldest viewer might well go to Ian Hunter. Ian, no disrespect, mate, you know, you're probably not that much older than myself. I think it's awesome that that there are people. I mean, I'm 50. I'm going to be 50 in a few months, a few weeks' time, I should say. So I am no spring chicken. As far as younger viewers, I have got no idea. I mean, I don't think I've never seen any comments by any young sort of viewers. You can look at, if you go into your analytics in your YouTube channel, it will show you, you know, percentage, 100% views, and it will show you, break it down, the sort of the kind of the age group, and I think it's something like 75% of my viewers are aged between 30 and 45. So that is what I would expect it to be. It's older people. You know, let's be honest, you're not going to get a youngster watching this. It's not going to happen. Unless, of course, they were stupidly interested in old games. You know, kids like my daughter, she's 13. They're not going to watch me. I'm an old age pensioner. I mean, I am. I'm generally, they would look at me as an old age pensioner. So honestly, I don't think. I might be wrong. If you're having to watch this and you're under the, you know, you're extremely young, please make a wee comment. I'm just interested to know if I do have any young viewers. I need to be careful. I do try not to swear, but I know occasionally a bad word does slip out. But yeah, I'd be interested to know who my youngest viewer is. looking at the stats, I don't have very many, and I really wouldn't expect it to be honest with you. So anyway, that's number 1 from Mark. Number 2, those whippersnappers probably have no idea how hard the old games were, and not just the likes of Defender and Arcade. Plenty of games in the retro computers were brutally hard. What are some of the hardest games you've played but enjoyed, and were there any so hard you gave up in frustration? Oh, there was quite a few, Mark, that I gave up in frustration, which goes back to my very, very first point about giving up too easily. Trying to think, I mean, difficult game-wise. Delta, I was talking about Delta, that was brutally difficult. What else? Drop Zone's quite a tough game. I'm trying to think. See, when you're put in a spot to try and name individual games, it's always quite tough. I think Impossible Mission is a game that it's too difficult. Again, my mate Mark, he actually played it in one of his videos, and he kind of gave up with it as well. It's brutally difficult. It looks easy, but it's anything but. So yeah, quite a few that I've given up. What was it you were saying? You've played but enjoyed a difficult game that I've played. See, I give up way too easily. So if a game's too difficult, I mean, a game that I played, and it's not 16-bit or 8-bit, it was on the Xbox 360. It was Bioshock Infinite, I think it's called, and it's a very, very last level, and I've played it and played it and played it, and I've just given up. And I read an article recently. It was the 100 toughest final levels, or baddies, whatever you want to call it, and that level was actually one of them. So at least it wasn't just me. But I'm looking at my games up there. There's nothing up there at all. No, I can't think. Like I say, generally if a game's too difficult, then I just won't play it. You know, I give up too easily, possibly. So anyway, Mark, sorry, it's not a very good answer for the second part, but as always, thank you very, very much for taking time to ask me something. Talk of the devil, Mr. Ian Hunter. Back in the 80s, I remember spending hours upon hours typing in magazine program listings for the Commodore VIC-20 and the C64 for the kids and myself. Most of them were shite, but after 2 days of debugging them, I did find the odd gem, notably Rocks 64, that's right, coded by Jeff Minter. I was wondering, Alan, if you'd enjoy typing from magazines, and did you find any good stuff? Cheers, buddy. I've got to say, Ian, I typed in very, very few games. Look at it and think, it's like 5 pages of numbers. There was only one game that I typed in, me and my mate typed it in, excuse me, and it maybe took us a couple of hours, and rather foolishly, rather than saving it, we immediately, as soon as we finished it, we typed run, pardon me, and it just went to a black screen, and that was it. It crashed, couldn't reset it, had to switch the computer on and off. So that was kind of enough for me. The only other exception, many moons ago, Andrew Braybrook wrote a program, and it was supposed to speed up your Commodore 64 by something like 25%. It had some machine code in it. Now, Andrew Braybrook, it was in Zap, you know, a reliable guy, trustworthy. So me and my mate, it was either me and my mate or me and Moen, I think it might be me myself actually, I typed in this 2-page listing, and I ran it, and it was April Fool. And then it was only then I noticed it was in the April edition of Zap 64. What I'll actually do is I'm going to try and I'll try and put a wee link up there to the program. It was in Zap, and it was an April Fool. So yeah, that was the only 2 occasions I think. I just didn't have the patience, and this is the fact that other game we tried and it didn't work. I just gave up. So anyway, Ian, thanks very much for taking time to ask me a question. Right, 2 to go, guys. Let me see how we're doing for time. Got 10 minutes, plenty of time. Right, down the rabbit hole, Kev. For the Friday Waffle, hi Alan, what is your primary online shopping website? If you see a must-have retro item, do you first check eBay, Amazon, Gumtree? If I'm buying new, Kev, I'll generally go to Amazon. I've got Amazon Prime, so you get like next day delivery and that kind of stuff. And I've got to say, Amazon generally, you very, very rarely see anything cheaper than Amazon selling it. They're uber reliable. Yeah, I know they're a horrible big corporation, and I know that they're shit to work for, and I know that you can't go to the toilet if you work for them, and they clock you, and they're maybe crap. They might be a terrible employer. So I've heard. If you work for Amazon, they're good. Please let me know. But yeah, when it comes to buying online, they're second to none. So generally, I'll go to Amazon. If I'm wanting to buy something, that's difficult to get, then eBay. Like if I'm going to buy a cable or something, there's no arguing with eBay. You buy it on eBay and you'll get it dirt cheap. I mean that controller thing that I was showing you earlier on, I got that on eBay. Yeah, so generally Amazon, then eBay, Gumtree not so much. Gumtree's, it's very, very limited, and if you're trying to buy retro stuff, people tend to think that everything is worth an absolute fortune. So yeah. Secondly, I notice when you review things, you generally say if you like them or not, but you don't rate things on a scale. Just curious, why not? It's, what, I've never actually thought about it, Kev. I've always just told you what I think and let you make up your own mind. Though saying that, I did look at something recently. Was it not the SNES Mini? And I actually said I give it 10 out of 10. There was something I looked at fairly recently, and I did give it a rating, but generally I just give you my opinion, I'll let you decide. But by all means, if you want me to start rating things out of 10, not got a problem. Yeah. I've seen in your footage from various events there's almost some plushies of video game characters for sale, but I'm guessing you consider yourself too mature, what are you trying to say, like, to buy those. Is there anything toy-like you would ever buy that's game-related? Plushies do not do it for me, Kev. The only thing I've got, and I've showed you them before, are these pop things. I mean, I've got all the, well, not all these things. You've all seen them. They're at every single computer convention thing. I've got how many? Got Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Han Solo, Jawa. What's that called again? TIE Fighter, Stormtrooper, Chewbacca, Tusken Raider, Princess Leia, Obi-Wan Kenobi, R2-D2, C-3PO, Jabba, Hammerhead, Yoda and Greedo. Believe it or not, it's a true story. I've actually spoke to the guy that played Greedo in Star Wars. He was wanting £10 for an anecdote, but I just went up to him and started talking to him, and he was talking away to me. He was telling me that George Lucas absolutely detests the summer special that came out, and he tried to get the whole thing taken off the internet, so you can't find it, but you can. I think it's on YouTube actually. So no, I would never buy a plushie. That's about the most toy-like thing I would buy. I'm not really into sort of models of that at all, Kev. But anyway, listen, mate, thank you very, very much. And lastly, guys, I've got a new reader, which is excellent. Record, then return. Thank you very much, Squire. A question for the Waffle. What's the most expensive game you bought for your Commodore 64 back in the day? Game-wise, I mean, I had a disc drive, so I would buy disc games. I think the most expensive game I ever bought was Elite. I think it was, yeah. I think it was £15. I mean, I would never pay any more. In fact, I've got it right here. Ugh. Now unfortunately, this is not the game, the original one that I had. I rebought that fairly recently. Does it tell you in the bag? Now this, I had it in disc. This is a tape. But the reason I rebought it was I just wanted to have it again. I mean, you've got your Space Traders Manual. You know what? I mean, when you look at a game now in the PS4, you don't get any instructions, you get nothing. Back in the day, you had a big manual, a space trader's manual. You know, excellent. I mean, how many pages has this got? It's got 65 pages. You've got that. You've got, I'm just conscious of the time, don't want the time to run out. Quick key control guide. And you've got this novella called The Dark Wheel, which Robert Holdstock, and again it's a little story. It's 48 pages long, so this is all what you got. There's the receipt. This guy bought it from a place called Errington Computers in Spennymoor, County Durham. I've been to Spennymoor, and he bought it on the 6th of July 1985, my year, and it was £14.95. Also got the Elite Disc upgrade offer, free post, need to send away for that, and there's a competition as well, blimey. So this is actually, you know what, this is really good quality. Yeah, there's a competition, and there is also, now this poster, not this exact one, but the same poster graced my wall for many years, my bedroom wall in my mum and dad's house. And you've got the tape, and you've also got the little inlay thing that goes over the keys. So yeah, that was £14.95. So I think that was possibly the most expensive game. I mean, I bought things like, what do you call it? Summer Games and disc. I bought Racing Destruction set. These were all, I think they were all about the £15 mark on the C64. Yeah, so that's, Elite Commodore 64. You got a Zap Gold medal back in May 1985, so there you go. So anyway, listen guys, that is it. That's all I've got. So I thought I saw a spider, but maybe not. Apparently this is the time of year where spiders like to come inside because it's getting cold. So that is it. That's another waffle. I'm going to get away. I'm going to let you get away as well. I have got a live stream on Sunday at 8 o'clock. Now, I did originally have it for 7, and then one of my mates contacted me and said he couldn't make it. He says the best time to do these is 8 till 9, so I thought I'll change it. And I rather cleverly overlaid 7 o'clock with 8 o'clock, and nobody noticed. Nobody could tell. In fact, it was the worst dubbing ever. But anyway, live stream, 8 o'clock on Sunday. Please tune in if you can. I'm going to be playing games that you ask me to play. It'll be great fun. I've done it once before. It was good fun. Hopefully I'll get a few people coming along to watch. It would be ace to catch up guys and get to speak to you. So anyway guys, listen, that is it. I'm going to get away. Thank you as always to all your wonderful support and questions and whatnot. Keep it going guys. And finally guys, thank you very much for watching.